I've been hurting, can't make it go away. Just a broken man who understands the things I used to say don't mean anything. 'Cause I never followed through and now it's over. I try to smile, look people in the eyes. Can't tell that I've been crying, 'cause I don't wanna die. But I've made mistakes and I can't take it back, and I won't make it till October. 'Cause when it's getting colder, I remember everything I've lost. Part of me still overseas, breathing heavy, I can't make it stop. Now I'm standing on the bridge, looking down into the water, 1 foot on the edge, screaming sorry to my daughter. I don't want to live a life when I hurt so bad inside. Someone tell this soldier where to go, 'cause the water looks so damn cold. I tried drinking so dreams will go away. I'm not perfect or worth it. I wish that I could change places with a couple men that I saw fall. Oh, I'm not a hero. I've tried therapy, had somebody stare at me, took medication. My situation is not guaranteed to have a happy ending. I'm pretending to keep it above zero. Now I'm standing on the bridge, looking down into the water, 1 foot on the edge, screaming sorry to my daughter. I don't want to live a life when I hurt so bad inside. Someone tell the soldier where to go, 'cause the water looks so damn cold. And I know that I should just pick up the phone, but all I've ever known is suck it up and do this on my own. I am not a number, and 22 is bad, but damn, I miss my brothers and I'm always feeling sad. Could someone help me make it to October? 'Cause I'm standing on the bridge, looking down into the water, 1 foot on the edge, I'm screaming sorry to my daughter. I don't want to live a life when I hurt so bad inside. Someone tell the soldier where to go, 'cause the water looks so damn cold.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Lamog, and welcome to Song Sung True, a Veteran's View. Tonight, I'd like to introduce you to award-winning songwriter and U.S. Army combat veteran Devon Stewart, a man who has touched many through his artistry and personal life experiences. Devon joined the U.S. Army Infantry in 2003. He was deployed to Iraq 3 times, once to Afghanistan, and received a Purple Heart for injuries sustained in an IED. After leaving the service in 2015, Stewart started playing guitar while a patient at Walter Reed Medical Center. Since then, he's gone on to win the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition 3 years in a row, from 2022 to 24 for his original music. But the winning didn't stop there. Devon placed first in his home state of Alaska in the 2025 competition and is waiting for the results from the national judging, which will be announced in December. Devon is a devoted husband and father and also takes pride in being able to share his music with other veterans through multiple outlets. in his Alaskan community. And right now, I'd like to introduce you to Devon Stewart. It's good to see
Hello.
you. Thank you. Thank you for making time for us, to come on the podcast. I know you were here last week with the others of the panel on the roundtable where heroes talk and get to talk a little bit about yourself with some of your peers. But really setting aside time for tonight's interview as we, get to know you a little bit better. Thanks for making the time.
No problem. No problem. Happy to be here.
I'd really like to deconstruct this package. This is a really an exceptional production here of the lyrics and the melodies, the video that you put together. And this was done not with a crew of people. And I know you've got a story for that one. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. You had mentioned that you had won the creative arts competition 3 years in a row. And I was just wondering, is this one of the submissions that you made?
It is. This is the submission I won last year for.
3 years in a row. I mean, is this something you look forward to every year?
Yeah. I write a few songs every year. And it's definitely something that if I have something that I think might reach out to somebody else, I like submitting it just to. I never really want to broadcast myself so much, but if something I write can help somebody else, then yeah, it's nice to get a little bit of recognition for it. And then through the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition, I get a little bit of exposure that then gets the song out to other people. So yeah, it's nice. It's something I guess yeah, I do look forward to it.
Just exceptional work. When I saw the video and listened to the song when you shared it with me originally as we were preparing for this podcast, I did the first run through it. I thought, oh, this is really cool. And then I started to listen very closely to the lyrics. Let's talk about the lyrics. All right. Um, when it comes to lyric writing for this particular song, can you take us back to when maybe the idea came about? What was happening in your life at the time that you wrote it?
Let's see, gosh, what was going on in life? I mean, over the past, decade since I got out, it's coming up on 10 years since I got out of the military. I've gone through a lot of life changes. I went from getting out of the military, still being injured, sitting at home, being a father to a newborn, to, I mean, going through a couple poor life decisions, drinking a little bit too much, and then recovering from that and coming back into, being a proud father, a proud husband. And so during those times, there were a couple dark moments. There were a couple really dark moments. And I can remember, like I talk about standing on the bridge looking into the water. I can remember doing that. And over the years, speaking with other veterans, some through the National Veteran Creative Arts Competition, hearing other people's stories about being at that moment to where you ask yourself, is this the time? Is this where it all ends? And then being able to process through that. I don't necessarily know if I was on the bridge at the moment when I was writing the song, but when I write, I put myself back in that moment. And so, um, yeah, I just, sometimes it's okay to look at the darker side, embrace it, and then push through it. And so that's what I was doing when I wrote it this time.
Did you have a sense of who you were writing the song for? I mean, I know it was again for the competition, but there's a lot. There's a message in there that I remember getting, and I, my heart sank after listening to. And I'm just going to read some of the lyrics first of all, just so the people who are watching get a sense of what your writing is about. And I know that I should just pick up the phone, but all I've ever known is suck it up and do this on my own. I'm not a number, and 22 is bad, but damn, I miss my brothers, and I'm always feeling sad. Those are powerful words. Talk about how you came up with the idea and putting this message together.
Well, I know that at least in the military, there's plenty of times that that's what you have to do. Um, maybe something terrible just happened and somebody that you care about is no longer with you, or they're going home because they've got injuries sustained. but you still have to go back out on patrol the next day. You still have a mission to accomplish. You don't get to sit and wallow for 48 hours, 72 hours. No, you might have to go back out 8 hours later. And then you have to go out and you have to be a professional. We joined the military, and in my particular field, I was 11 Bravo infantry. And so we had a job to do every day. And yeah, it's kind of hard to get out of that. Now, back in the States, you hear when I say 22 is bad, I mean the number that we always hear is 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And a lot of times we get so down and we get into that point to where we're ready to give up and to be one of those numbers. And so standing on a bridge, thinking about, is today that day? Am I going to do this? Um, Maybe you haven't been on the bridge literally, but I think a lot of us have figuratively been on that bridge. We've been at home, we've been at work, we've been in the car, we've been somewhere, and we have thought we can't do this anymore. And in that moment, you're not thinking about contributing to a number, but you're thinking, do I just suck it up one more day? Do I just keep doing this or do I give up? I talk about saying sorry to my daughter. I'm a family man. I'm a proud husband, proud father. But in those moments, we forget about all the things that matter so much to us. And it's not selfishness, but in that moment, we don't look past ourselves. And I say nobody ever wants to die, but we just want the pain to stop. That's what we want. And so occasionally that's where we go. We go into the moment where we just don't want to hurt anymore. And picking up the phone, I say, so I know that I should just pick up the phone. How many people could have benefited from picking up the phone? Because somebody always is willing to answer. Somebody is always willing to listen, but you don't think of that when you're in the middle of it. When you're in that moment, you forget that somebody cares, somebody will listen. And yeah, so again, when I write, I try to put myself in those moments and appreciate the darkness. That way I can see the light.
It really comes through on this song. Let me just read the lyrics here that just nailed it for me. Now I'm standing on the bridge, looking down into the water, 1 foot on the edge, screaming sorry to my daughter. I don't want to live a life when I hurt so bad inside. Someone tell this soldier where to go because the water looks so damn cold. And it struck me that, all right, he's getting ready to make the jump to take his life. And my jaw hit the floor. And I thought, what powerful imagery that you've got in that set of lines alone, that made me think, no wonder he's an award-winning songwriter.
I'm not comfortable with silence. Was I supposed to say something? I'm sorry. Well, up here in Alaska, the water's always cold if I'm frank, but no, it's a real thing, right? Like not just me, but a lot of us have been there. And again, maybe it's not a bridge. Maybe it's your couch at midnight after a couple shots of alcohol, and it's on the anniversary of a friend that didn't make it home. And we live there. Sometimes we live there day after day for months at a time. But I just found a way to put my darkest moment into words. And again, I don't live like that every day. No, I find the joy in life. But I I I hope that if somebody else hears it, maybe they see that you're not alone. It's not just you that's thinking about that bridge. It's that there's a lot of us that look at that bridge and yeah, maybe if we get together, maybe if we talk about it, maybe if you write about it, you sing about it, maybe there's something you can do to get past it or at least get through it.
Thanks for that. As a civilian myself, trying to relate to what you and other veterans have gone through really is contingent on how you share that experience. And when I read those lyrics, Devon, it was very clear to me, what the message was here. So for me, as someone who has never really come into the situations you have, I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's shift to the music. All right. You could have picked up a guitar and strum a few chords, but you didn't. You chose a piano instead. What's the story with that?
Okay, so I'm not a I'm not really a guitarist either. I just know a couple chords, and I've practiced a bunch of times those same chords. But so I was at you've mentioned I've been blessed with winning the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition a few years. And during one of those uh festivals, yeah, sometimes you're lucky enough to get invited to go to the festival and perform your song live and perform in part of the stage performance. And there's a lot of song and dance included. You got to dress up in a monkey suit. Um, way too many sequins on my vest, if I'm honest. Matt, you can relate to that. I know. But during that, there's a lot of downtime at the stage. And so um, one of the performances, I was stuck down in the basement, like underneath the stage. And then I found this busted piano, and most of the keys didn't work, but like a set of keys worked. And I just got stuck down there, and I was listening to other people, and then I just was in the room for a couple hours. It was probably an hour and a half, I'd say. And all I had was those select 12 keys, 18 keys, whatever it was. And so I just started hitting one keynote at a time. I was like, well, hell, let me find a pen. And then that turned into, well, let me find a piece of paper. And then by the time I left there that night, I had this song. And the next day at the hotel, there was a piano inside the hotel. And I asked Karen Dunn, actually, she was here last week. And I was like, Karen, what do you think? And I played it, and I think I played it for Matt too. And he's like, dude, what the heck? What are you doing, man? Stop it. But yeah, it just kind of it all came out. I think the moment of solitude in the little tiny, 8 by 12 room by myself with that broken piano. It was broken just like we are. And I figured if the keys still could make it work, maybe I could make something work. And through that came a song. And then I was able to get a video together and put a couple things together, and it came out all right. People seem to like it.
And we'll get to that video in just a minute. The piano itself, the simplicity of it all, you know, just one note at a time. It sounds like you were just playing one note at a time.
It was. Yeah.
It's not strumming a G chord, three notes. It's really one note at a time. And then you built your vocal around the melody around that single note. Um, that's just remarkable to me, how that all came. Now, did before we talk about the video, because there are some questions that I've got about that. The recording process for this, you had to do this, the songwriting piece, the recording piece before you did the video, or is that how that all unfolded? When it
So I was actually really lucky.
mm,
Um, this guy named George up here in Alaska, George Sakat, he helps a lot of veterans. He does a lot of stuff up here. And he's always willing to offer his time. He's got a studio set up. And he has asked me a bunch of times, like, hey, let's do something. I'm like, hey, do you got a piano? Like, so in the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition, you can't win in the same category 3 years in a row. So I had won Best Original Song Military Experience 2 years in a row. And so I knew I couldn't enter the third year, but I had this song that I wanted to share with people. And so the caveat is when you record a song for the Best Original Song, it's just you and with your guitar or your piano in a camera. If you make your original video, you can actually have somebody record you. It's a little bit of niceness. So George was awesome enough to have me come into the studio. actually record the one key at a time, have me be able to sing it over, and then I was able to take my drone photography and footage from my deployment and kind of loop it all together to come up with this process. So very grateful for him helping me out. That was awesome. Yeah, it was a different experience because again, I'm not that's the only time I've recorded anything, and even that I was only recording a single keystroke at a time. But no, it's kind of cool because the more that we reach out and put ourselves out, the more you find that there's people not only across the country, but in your community that want to be a part of it. They want to help. They want to do it. And they're just excited to just to be part of anything. So yeah.
That's excellent, man. Well, the support that you got for recording, did it turn out the way you had hoped? The
Um
audio portion, the
I
lyric.
don't know what I had expected, but
Mhm.
I think it came out better. I know that it was so simplistic. There wasn't a lot that went into the actual music. And then to have somebody record me on a microphone, I'm used to just having a cell phone, setting it up over here,
Right.
playing a couple chords on guitar.
Yeah.
So actually hearing myself on a clear voice, I don't have an amazing voice. I'm not going to be on the radio on a top 10, but having somebody put a little bit of effort, it was cool that somebody was willing to put effort into me. Because I know that when I write my music, it is for me, it's therapy for myself, but I'm hoping that it's effort into somebody else, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Very thoughtful, my friend. Who was the first person you shared the audio recording with?
Oh goodness, probably my wife. I'm sure. I'm sure it was my wife, and bless her heart, she's supportive in every way. But I'm like, hey, honey, how does it sound? Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. I'm like, no, you always say that. I need some like constructive criticism where you're like, maybe you should do this or this, but she's just gonna say it's great every time. Um,
Well,
I
did
don't
you speak
know.
to someone? Did you speak to someone else outside of your family, or maybe a family
No.
member that?
No,
Okay,
other than George recording it right there, I guess the next people that actually heard it would have been I post a couple things on YouTube, but that's just because in order to do the national contest, you have to have a link. So I guess the next people that heard it would have been the judges.
and we saw see how that turned out. All right, so we should move on to the video now, shouldn't we? Because I myself, for selfish reasons, am interested in the aerial photography piece with your drones. You're the first person I've ever come into who's actually used a drone for photography. Well, give us a backstory of that real quick, and then tell us about how you shot the video. But what got you interested, and do you still do it today?
So, I mean, years ago, I never did anything with drones in combat. We had in Afghanistan, we had one soldier that had a backpack that had I think it was called a Raven. So it was a drone. He would throw it, and when it came back in, it was fixed wing, but it would crash land, break into a bunch of pieces. But we would have very grainy imagery. But since then, technologies came quite a bit since 2013. So when I got out of the military. Probably in 2018, I think I got my first drone. Small, small drone, quadcopter. Broke it against a tree, and so I ended up getting a new one eventually. And after the second one, I learned a little bit on how to fly it a little bit better. Learned how to not fly into trees as much.
They fly
And
away too. Can't don't they? They could fly away, right? I've heard the stories, but I'm just curious.
you know what? If you purchase good equipment, you should expect the best out of it. If you take care of it, it's kind of like any car you get. You can get a crappy car, but if you take really good care of it, it
Uh-huh.
should treat you right.
Oh, okay.
My first one was definitely user error. But by the time I got my second one, I started taking a couple pictures, and then people started asking for pictures because they're like, "Oh, you have a drone." And then I got my third one, and then people really started saying, "Hey, my business is opening up. Could you get a video for me?" And then a couple years ago, the American Cancer Society had me do an official, real job. So I started my company, Alaska Drone Photography, and I don't do a lot of business. I say we don't do business. It's just me,
Yeah.
but I do inspection work. I do some picture work. But really, what I like doing is any kind of veteran events we have out here in the valley. When I say the valley, that's the Matsu Valley, north of Anchorage, about 20 miles. It's a huge expanse of land. We actually have the highest per capita veteran to civilian ratio in the country. So while you go to California, there might be more veterans as far as square mileage, veterans to civilians per population. This is the most in the nation. So there's a lot of veteran-owned companies. I love if you start a business, let me come out and take some pictures. Let
Yeah.
me get a video to get you started. Some of these nonprofits, Alaska Healing Hearts, Battle Dogs, VA Rep, Connect Vets. Some of these guys do events. I love just going out and like if I'm part of it, let me take a couple pictures. 98 Fun, Wounded Warrior when they come up here, let me participate so I can get a little bit of promo stuff. And through that, I've just gotten better and better at it. And so when the video came up and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm talking about standing on a bridge. Well, there's bridges all over my town. So let me go stand on different bridges in my town and then set the drone up so I could sing while the drone does an automated program.
Along with that comment about the piano being a very simplistic approach, this photography with and without the drone was also very simple, black and white, some of the zoom, very steady, nothing too erratic or crazy. You never know it was a drone until you told me. But just overall, the video itself was just very simple approach, but a very powerful message, and just the emotion in your voice in the presentation itself. You could feel the pain. I know I could. But is there any message that you have about people who are going to be watching this video, that it doesn't really come in the video, but you want to just let them know about this video, what the message might be?
Well, one, if you're looking at it from a spot of, I know a lot of people got on YouTube and they do Facebook, Instagram, all TikTok, and you're making your own videos. You don't have to be elaborate. You don't have to have it changing images every 2 seconds. Sometimes being simple is okay. Getting your message across doesn't take a lot of different things going on. If you focus on your message, it doesn't get lost in the sauce. Um, so when making a video, focus more on your message than the actual pictures and video that you're taking because it will come across. It will sink in. People might watch this video and go, "Oh, that's great." They'll remember the words more. They'll remember the song more. And as far as the whole video put together, I've never taken a college class for videography. It took me a little bit of practice and sitting at my computer, learning on my own with a video program that cost me $80, that I bought back in like 2021. I'm using an old video program to do this. You don't have to invest a lot of money. You have to invest a lot of heart. It's all about the soul you put into it. That will come out. And if it doesn't come out the first time, try again. It'll work. It'll work.
You could do it yourself. Really, you're giving the pointers out to a number of songwriters or anyone, an artist for that matter, who aspires to put photography or videography on their resume or their website. All right, everyone. Later this hour, Devon will be taking your questions, so just add them in the chat feature in Zoom, or if you're watching from YouTube, which we appreciate. Included there, Matt Jones is going to be helping me out with reading them. He's taking care of the engineering duties tonight, so take care of that. Hey, Devon, let's talk a little bit about your career in the Army. You included some information about your Army, your military experience. You joined the U.S. Army Infantry in 2003. The Army. Is there a reason why you chose the Army?
Okay, I mean, if we're being frank, let's be frank. The Army took me. They needed numbers at the time. I think that was pretty much it. When I was 18 and I joined the military, I was homeless. I was on the streets of Phoenix, Arizona. I was in a group home at 17, turned 18, and then had a program that gave me an apartment for a couple months, but I was homeless shortly thereafter. I went into a mall and I went into the Air Force and they said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to fly jets." They said, "Thank you very much. Have a good day." I went over to the Marines and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Anything." They were like, "Did you get a diploma?" I said, "Actually, no, I got a GED." They're like, "Thank you very much." I went in the Army. They said, "Come on in. We got something for you." And so I took my ASVAB. I qualified for a couple jobs, but the infantry, they tried to talk me out of it. But honestly, one of the machine guns, the M249, they had a brochure for it in the lobby, and I saw it, and it said 800 to 1200 rounds a minute, and that sounded good. I said, "I want to do that." They're like, "Are you sure? Your scores say you could do this, this, and this." I said, "No, I want to do that." They're like, "But you could really do this." I said, "No, I really want to shoot that." They're like, "Oh my God, okay, let's do that, I guess." And so, yeah, they signed me up, and the Army took me in. And a couple months later, I had a couple more months of living a really hard life, and then joined the Army and never looked back. It was the best decision I ever made. It changed my life. It gave me purpose. It gave me family. It gave me a brotherhood. I went from Phoenix, Arizona, up here to Alaska, where I live now. And yeah, it's a great decision.
You also mentioned deployment to Iraq 3 times, and that was 2005 to 2006, 2008 to 2009, and 2010 to 2011, and once to Afghanistan in 2013. So, did you have expectations of yourself that you were going to be um, with this career for a while when you began your service? Was that the long term thinking? Is that I'm going to be here for a while?
I think when I joined, if I'm honest, when I joined, I wasn't in a great place mentally, emotionally. I didn't have a great couple years as a teenager, joining as homeless. And my thought was the war was going on. I want to go fight for the war for my country. And if I died in the process of serving my country, my life would have been well spent. So I went and I joined the career field where I felt people were needed. And so I joined the infantry. I joined trying to be on the ground, trying to be in the fight. And I didn't necessarily ever think of a career on day one. I just said, I'm willing to give myself for something bigger than myself because as a kid, I was selfish. I don't know, I was a knucklehead, got in all kinds of trouble. Um, then after joining and serving and going to my first deployment, I re-enlisted while I was overseas. While I was there the first time, I had already seen a couple friends, you know, um, give the ultimate sacrifice for our country, and I said, you know what, I can keep going. I've still got fingers, toes, legs, arms. I can give more. And then every time, I mean, I re-enlisted my first deployment. I re-enlisted my second deployment. I think I just wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. Too many times, especially as young men, we're selfish. We only think about what's there in front of me. And I realized I was good at something. I was able to do things that were bigger than myself and be part of something bigger than myself. And after I realized that, if I wouldn't have got hurt in Afghanistan, I would have continued. I would have hopefully been retiring right about now. That'd have been great. I'd have taken that retirement.
You also mentioned receiving a Purple Heart for the injuries that you'd sustained from an IED, and then that basically, my guess is, if I read this correctly, you left the service in 2015. Was it as a result of that injury?
No, it was not. I received my Purple Heart from an ID in 2009.
Mm.
I actually got a scar on my head right here. The hair's covering it up right now a little bit, but no, I was injured on my second deployment to Iraq. But thanks to medical technology and the amazing surgeons at Fort Lewis McChord Air Base, Fort Lewis McChord, I don't know if it's Air Base or not. Anyway, Washington. Because of those guys, I was able to heal up. Smile a little crooked, but I'm all right. And yeah, actually, after I got hurt and had surgery on my head, I waived my dwell time and deployed 10 months later back to Iraq. So I was injured again in Afghanistan in 2013. I did not receive a Purple Heart, but after that, I was a patient at Walter Reed for a while. And then following that, I was discharged from the military medically. Um, yeah.
There was a TV interview that you did where you said, I believe, or I'm just going to paraphrase it, that you weren't ready to leave. Did I read that right?
If it was up to me, I would have stayed in as long as I could have.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, when I was at Walter Reed, I probably should have stayed a little bit longer than I did, but doctors are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." I was in email contact with my guys. I had guys in Afghanistan I was in charge of that were in the thick of it, and I was hoping that if I got out of the hospital sooner, I would be able to go back and finish the deployment. But they ended up saying no because of my medical conditions. I could no longer go back, and after that, they started the medical separation process. So I ended up getting out after that. I would have loved to stay in. I think I was good at my job. I was decent, and I always tell people there's not a lot of jobs that give you so much job satisfaction. But at some point, if you yell at someone, there's a machine gun firing at you, and hell is all around you, and you look behind you and you say, "Follow me." And I know that's a classic infantry term, follow me, but literally yell, "Follow me," and run forward. And at some point, you look behind you and you see a bunch of little Kevlar helmets following you up this hill. That's a rewarding feeling. It means you've trained these men well. They feel confident in their own abilities and they trust you that even though it's terrifying and it is scary, they will follow you into the firefight and they will accomplish the mission. There's not a lot of jobs that do that outside of the military. They give you that kind of rewarding, like, hey, I've trained these guys and now they're that confident, not only in their own abilities, but they trust you that you're willing to put yourself in front, that they'll follow you to potentially death to get the job done. So, yeah, I would have kept going. I would have loved to stay in. They just told me at some point, they said, "Thank you for your service."
Well, thank you for your service. Doesn't seem to go far enough. In my mind, basically, what you're sharing here is really going all out to make sure that these men and women were, you know, equipped, that they were prepared. You took the time to do that. You made some sacrifices yourself. Thank you for your service from my heart to, to what you've given, my friend. Thank you for my freedoms. So thank you for sharing all of that about your service in the military. And I think it's about time to break out that guitar, don't you?
Can I get a drink of water real quick? Give me like 20 seconds.
No. Okay, go ahead and do that. Do you want to come on screen, Matt? Do you feel like filling the gap?
Yeah, I can come on screen if you want me
I,
to.
I think you should come over here while he gets his water. So did you have any there are questions, I think. Do you have any
We do have a question.
Okay.
It's from John.
All
You want me to ask now?
Oh,
Well, obviously not. Devon's not here.
you probably
I'm
There
back.
he
I'm
is.
back. Go for it.
yeah, go ahead and ask the question.
All right, brother. This one comes from John Hampton, and he asks, Devon, he says, I'm new to both guitar and newer to songwriting. What was the process to stepping up and performing live, and how do you prepare?
Okay, so performing live, it's terrifying every single time. There's not a single time that I play in front of somebody where I'm like, oh, yay, now. Like right now, you guys asked me to play, and I'm like, oh God, okay, I gotta get a drink of water. Oh my God. Um, Step one, practice, practice, practice is I have a note in my wallet and I have this little list of my songs, and on it it says, play these songs every day. Don't forget to practice. If you write a song, if you're like me, the second you like, you guys can't see it, but in front of me are all my lyrics to my own songs that I wrote with the chords because I forget all the time. Um, Practice it until it's muscle memory. I'm not an expert guitarist. I know basic chords and I'm learning every day still. I'm 41 years old. I've been playing for a couple years, but every day I play is just me learning again. Um, when you get in front of people, realize that one, most of the time, nobody's going to be like, boo, get off stage, you suck. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Locally, we have open mics here where I live. There's a couple different, it sucks. They're always at bars. So if you're not into alcohol, that like it kind of makes it difficult. But um, go to local open mics. Go somewhere where they're going to give you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can play two or three songs. People are either going to clap or they're not. And either way, do your best and then come back next week. Even if you do bad, Matt, you can attest. I've posted on Facebook before, dude, I sucked. I forgot my own lyrics. I messed up halfway through the song. I still do that to this day. I don't remember all my stuff and I beat myself up, but I keep coming back. It's just keep trying. And then if you have friends or family, play in front of them. And then I always tell people I sound best around a campfire, around a bonfire. That's where I'm best. Like if there's ever a time, put your guitar in the vehicle and leave it in the vehicle and be like, hey, anybody want to hear? Like I know everybody's playing this iPod, but iPod, I guess there's no iPods anymore. Everybody's listening to their iPhone, but y'all want to hear something I've been working on and work on it. There's apps on your phone you can download that will actually like I am not going to put it on the thing. I have an app on my phone where I can look up different songs and then it'll show the chords. It'll have a tuner on it. Step one, feel comfortable with a pen and paper in your own house. Step two, get a musical instrument. It doesn't have to be a guitar. It could be a piano. Just find something that you're comfortable with and then write it down.
Is that it, Matt? Is that it for the questions?
That's the one for right now. We'll have more, I promise.
Okay, my friend, I'm gonna let you run back to the sound engineer's booth. Thanks, buddy. All right. So you got your guitar, Devon. What song have you got in mind for us? And is this one of your award-winning songs? Maybe.
Does it
Oh,
need to be one of those? I can do
this,
that.
no,
Um,
no.
all right, hold on.
We would be
Okay,
thrilled
okay.
with anything that you have to share.
We'll do
I've
that. We'll do
listened.
that.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um,
Give us the name and give us the story if you are able to do that. That'd be awesome, Mr. Songwriter.
we'll see if I remember this one because it's been a while since I played it.
Well, you play.
So
Here's the deal. Here's what you should know: is that you play as much of it as you want. If you want to play the entire thing, great. If you want to just play, a little bit of it, we'd be happy either way. But
how
it's your
about we
opportunity.
play till I forget? If I can get the whole thing out without remembering. Again, if you're listening, please bear with me. I have been busted up a few times. I have I have memory issues. I do the best I can. A lot of times I have to read stuff. But so the first year I entered the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition. I guess I've never written for the competition. I just write songs and then I'll pick one and maybe enter into it. I don't write for it. I write, and then if it's good, I'll throw it in there. And for the past couple of years, something I've written, I've entered, and I've just been really lucky. I've been playing against like last year. Man, Matt had some bangers coming in. Again, this year, I'm happy to have won in Alaska. I don't know how good I'll do nationally because there are some talented musicians that are out there. We really have a lot of veteran talent in this country. And if I'm honest, yeah, it feels great to win. I will be completely okay with somebody else taking the gold and being able to share their talent with the country. But a couple years ago, the first song I entered and won with was called "Man I Used to Be," and yeah, I got a chance to go down to St. Louis, and yeah, it was kind of fun. It was my introduction into the festival. We had a tornado at the hotel and everybody freaked out except for me. I ran outside with my GoPro and was like, video. Yeah, they weren't so happy with it, but no, it was great. The hotel was right outside of the arch. So like I would look out my window and the arch was right there. So amazing experience.
Did
But
you bring the did
yeah,
you bring
first
the
one I got.
pictures with you? Did you bring the pictures with you?
I have somewhere on one of my social media accounts, it's like, hey, there's a tornado, everybody.
All right, save it for the green room afterwards. I'm gonna let you go and play your
Okay. Okay, gotcha. But this is called Man I Used to Be.
Now, how did time go by so quick? No, I can't go on like this. Alone at home, I realize why sometimes I'd like to die. Part of me, well, I'm still there in Afghanistan, breathing in cold air, with a friend laying there on the ground as a helicopter touches down. 'Cause I wanted to be the man to be bringing that boy back to his family, but he didn't make the flight back home. Now I can't do this on my own. Those I've loved, I've pushed away. That's the price that I now must pay. Look in the mirror and I don't see me. I'm just a man that I used to be. Thoughts that I try to hide. I'm self-convinced, but I've just lied. So scared of the memory of a man that I used to be. I disappear into a crowd. I'm on a rumble, but I'm not proud. My doctor tells me take my pills, but I know that I don't feel real. Sacrifices that we made, I made it home, sometimes I wish I'd stayed. I don't know my daughters or my son, I was damn good with that gun. Tell me how I can just go slow, 'cause I'm watching my back, 'cause it's all that I know. And well, they tell me that hope's not gone, but this soldier carries on. Those I've loved, I've pushed away. That's the price that I now must pay. Look in the mirror and I don't see me. I'm just a man that I used to be. Thoughts that I tried to hide. I'm self-convinced, but I'm just lied. So scared of the memory of a man that I used to be. And I know that I can't go back. And I know that it's not over. Now I can still fight for my life, for my family. I can be a damn good soldier. Those I've loved, I've pushed away. That's the price that I now must pay. Look in the mirror and I don't see me. Just a man that I used to be. Thoughts that I've tried to hide. Self-convinced, but I've just lied. So scared of the memory of a man I used to be.
Set that guitar down and let's continue on with our conversation. Your musical journey. Let's talk about that because now you've come out of the Army and you found yourself at Walter Reed. And you were telling me about that was the place where you started playing guitar. You know, first of all, how did that all come together? You're at Walter Reed. Did you have this desire or did they basically say, hey, we offer a guitar?
When I got to Walter Reed, in Afghanistan, we were and a little bit of a fuss up, and some homemade explosives got thrown up in an explosion, and everything was good. We finished the firefight. Everybody went home just fine. Got back to base, went to bed. I woke up and I was actually on my way to some training we had going on before next mission, and a medic stopped me, and my left pupil was blown. And he goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "What do you mean? I got a little bit of a headache." He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, let's talk to you a little bit." And so about 6 hours later, it felt like somebody had shoved a fork in the side of my head. I went blind in my left eye, couldn't see anything. My right eye's vision started to lose, and based on that, I they put me at the hospital, and then I got flown out to Germany, and then from Germany to Walter Reed. And so there at Walter Reed, I got the pain increased and increased and increased to the point where I was unable to sleep. It was just so I was heavily medicated, um, and lost most of my vision. And so I was laying in bed at Walter Reed, almost blind. It sucked. Um, they flew my wife up. Luckily, they flew my wife up to visit me and all that, but that was only for a couple days, and then I was stuck in bed. I couldn't do a lot. And at some point, laying in bed, not able to see, somebody, which I wish I knew his name. Hey, if you're listening to the podcast, please reach out. I would love to meet you. I would say thank you. But some guy came in and he put a guitar in my hand. It was a Yamaha. I later found out once I could see. And he said, "Put your fingers right here." I'll take this off of there. But put your fingers right here. He said, "That's an E minor." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Just practice it. I'll be back in a day or so." And so I did. I played it, and it's really simple. It's two strings, two fingers, and I got really good at playing E minor. Sounds pretty twangy. And then he came back, and he's like, "All right, man, put your fingers here. That's an A minor." And I did that, and it made a different sound. He said, "Switch between E minor and A minor. It's not much, but you can write a song with those two notes." He says, there's a lot of different notes, but with those two notes, you could write a sad song." And so I sat there in bed, not able to walk around, not able to, I could walk. I just had to have help. I could move around, but I needed the assistance there. Excellent staff. When I was at Walter Reed in 2013, the medical staff, the support staff, everybody was terrific. No complaints. They were amazing. But based on that, I learned to write a song laying in bed there. Like, I'm not going to play it here, sing it here, but yeah. Um, yeah, I wrote a sad little song about being stuck at the hospital. And that stuck. It stuck with me in my mind that, like, not just talking, because there's therapists there. I mean, obviously, there's not just physical therapy that goes on, there's mental therapy, all these things that happen. But they were able to mentally, or they were able to physically heal me. Like, over the next couple months, I got better. I was able to see again, not 100%. I still have bad vision, but I got better. My right eye is good. My left eye still suffers some. It turns out aluminum nitrate and urea isn't good for your eyeballs. But who would have thought? Yeah, yeah, don't. But getting the guitar in my hand, it rekindled something. Years ago on my third deployment to Iraq, I had a buddy of mine. Me and him used to write funny songs. I would write the lyrics and write the funny stuff, talking about zombies and dude bro and like silly stuff. But he played guitar strictly. I would just write. And now all of a sudden I have the ability to make my own songs, and I was terrible at it. It did not sound good, but I could kind of self process some of this trauma. Whereas in the past, I would have to have a therapist or I would have to have multiple other avenues to get through things. Now I could do it on my own. Excuse me. So yeah, through Walter Reed, whoever that was, giving me a guitar and saying that, um, I didn't actually start playing guitar until years later, as far as using those skills. But I realized that there's music could be an outlet, music could be an answer. And so, yeah.
Did you have any prior musical experience before Walter Reed?
Yeah, growing up, like I was raised in Alabama for a fair deal before I became a teenager, and like going to church. Church was kind of compulsory. Compulsory? I don't think that's a word. You went to church where I lived, and after church, I would always kind of go over to the piano and hit a key or two. I think I taught myself a little bit of Beethoven, just the simplest parts at least, before I was a kid, and then I learned a guitar song when I was younger, and I was in the band. I played the trumpet for a while. I played the drums but got in trouble, so I got kicked out of band. But then at sixth grade I was able to join the band again as long as I played the trumpet. I went to one lesson for trumpet class, and then they taught me the blues scale, which was a mistake because I picked up on that immediately, went home and just had a blast and never went back to lessons, and then ended up doing really good at trumpet. But by high school, I kind of thought like, band sucks. Like the girls don't love band, so kind of moved past that. But no, especially after I got hurt, and I can't move my mouth the same way. I can't use a trumpet anymore. It's just not something that I'm physically capable of doing, and so a little bit of music background, little bit. I understood chord structure, if that makes sense. Like I understood it, but didn't know how to put it into practice.
Well, you said you had a piano in the house when you were growing up. Was that your mom, your dad? Whose was it?
I didn't have a piano in the house. There was a piano at church.
Uh,
So when I was growing up, church was a big part of every week. So we were in there 3 days a week, and because of that, I had access to the piano while at church. We didn't have a piano at home, but I was around it enough to be able to kind of tinker around with it. My parents were not musically inclined at all. I didn't have any family members that were, or no like real encouragement. But again, once in sixth grade when I got the trumpet, I just kind of took to it. And once I learned that blues scale, I fell in love with it. And I'm sure my neighbors in Alabama, I still have a friend in Alabama. Her name's Alex. And she talks to me. She's like, I can remember because we were neighbors, which meant she lived like a half mile, quarter mile down the road. And her family would hear me playing trumpet outside at night. So,
Reveille?
yeah. Again, blues music, but that's okay.
Wow. Well, now that you brought up blues, can you share with us some of your musical inspirations? Now, the ones who are maybe responsible for keeping your interest with music and possibly even songwriting.
So, I mean, it's weird. So I went through like multiple phases as a kid.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually really into hip hop. I love rap. Not anything current, but as a kid, like we went through like a skateboarding phase, which was like Green Day and Bush. But then at some point we were too cool to listen to alternative. So it was like Tupac and Master P. We weren't Biggie fans, but yeah, and then so that was a thing. And then got into hard rock, Godsmack, Disturbed, Slipknot, stuff like that. And then in the military, kind of, I remember we used to just have a rule, at least on my second deployment, every day somebody got to pick like, depending, like every day, one of the other people got to pick the music we listened to. So it would be anything from Taylor Swift to Daft Punk to Tupac to Disturbed. So it would be the whole gamut of music. Getting with my wife, country music got introduced. Even though I was living in Alabama, my family didn't listen to country. I didn't listen to country at all.
What did they listen to?
Now,
No, back then.
80s music, right? Like when I was growing up, my the thing I remember most of childhood, Weird Al Yankovic. That was my, as far as
Oh,
my inspiration for writing music when before I ever picked up a guitar, I guess I should say that. So when I first got in the army, first deployment, second deployment, third deployment, before I ever knew how to play guitar, I would write silly songs making fun of other people in my platoon. And it would be nobody else would laugh in the whole world. But if you were in our platoon or my company, you would think it was hilarious. It would be great because it was very specific to things that were going on in our unit. But I would just sing it to the tune of somebody else's song, and people would laugh, and they would. That was a big hit, which kind of egged me on to write more stuff.
which brings us back to Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, I love him. He's the best.
I remember seeing you shooting a video around food, and it was "I Want to Hear Eat It." I think is what it was from Weird Al. And I'm thinking this guy's too funny. Yeah, yeah. So everyone has their musical influences. Yours just happens to be Weird Al.
Yeah, I love that guy. He actually played at the Alaska State Fair this year, but I had to work. So I work for a solar power company. I have a couple jobs. So I run Alaska Drone Photography. I work for All Off Grid, which is a solar power company here in the valley. And I also work up on the north slope of Alaska, up on an oil field for Denali Universal Services
Where is that?
as a security officer.
It's in Alaska. I know that. So it's farther north from where we're at. But where in Alaska is the slope?
So I'm in Wasilla right now, and Wasilla is about 40 miles north of Anchorage. My other job on the slope is 800 miles north of me right now. So if you look at the state of Alaska on a map and you see the ocean, I work 2 miles south of the ocean.
Is this like
So as far north in North America as you can go.
this is the Arctic Ocean we're talking about?
Yeah, it's the Beaufort Sea, technically.
That's pretty darn far north. Good.
No, it's cold.
Yeah.
I saw a polar bear the other day.
Yeah, among other things. Like is it that time of the year where the nights are longest right now? Is that
No, not quite yet. So every day, it's gonna just keep getting darker and darker every day. I think the sun doesn't come out for us right now until about 9 o'clock. It's now snow period. When I went up the last time, so I just got back on Monday, but at the beginning of October, it was snowing a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow, a little bit of rain. Now it's just snow and ice the whole time. And so yeah, it's for sure. I think there's about 3 inches of snow on the ground right now. But this winter in December, January, we get about 6 feet of snow. We have complete winter conditions. We call it condition 3. No travel, planes don't land, cars don't drive. The wind is so severe it gets negative 45, negative 50. Plus, with the wind chill, you can hit negative 70, negative 80. So, yeah, it's a different environment for sure.
My name is Devon Stewart, and I wrote this song earlier this year at a writing workshop with Roseanne Cash. I call it War Song. Walking in the city, I had all my brothers with me, going house to house before the dawn. Young man with a machine gun, I'm kicking doors down like I'm told to. Iraq when I was 21. Hearing someone say that he's not ready, it's not his time to go, tying on a tourniquet while he's bleeding out and breathing slow. I just did my job, I'm not a hero. I've known a couple and I miss those guys. I carry on. Now I just tell myself these same excuses. I just tell myself that I'm to blame. No mistake it, I can take it. Got friends that ain't gonna make it. I hope you're all okay. decade and a couple wars, 1,000 miles. Found myself in charge of many men. We're chasing ghosts up in the mountains, getting shot at by the locals. We try to make our friends. Everywhere you stepped, you knew that the ground beneath your feet could disappear and you'd be dead. Tried to keep my head down, but I said I'd bring my boys home. Ended up at Walter Reed instead. I just tell myself these same excuses. I just tell myself that I'm alright. I don't need to talk about it. I'm on medication now, and the alcohol can get me through the night. I'm living hard now, I'm still drinking when I'm home alone. I'm thinking I should change the way I live. Now I'm no hero, I'm a loser. I can barely feed my family. I don't play with my kids. Now yeah, I've got a job and I can pay the bills. Sometimes I'm just dead inside. Who the hell am I supposed to tell? Not the little girl who needs me, or the wife, cause she might leave me. These boots are filled with blood, but damn they fit so well. I just tell myself these same excuses. I just tell myself that I'm to blame. No mistake it, I can take it. Got friends that ain't gonna make it. I hope you're all okay. I just tell myself the same excuses. I just tell myself that I'm alright. I don't need to talk about it. On medication now, and the alcohol can get me through the night.
Hey, let's talk about your songwriting. Let's talk about what songwriting is, what it means to you. Let me ask you this about being a songwriter. What do you enjoy most about it?
Enjoy? Oh man. When I write a song, it kind of sucks. In order for me to write a song, I have to kind of, before I write it, I put myself mentally into this space that says, hey, I'm ready to write a song. I want to write a song. I've seen something or I'm thinking about something. I am going to allow myself to mentally be vulnerable. Now, I'm not vulnerable to other people. I'm not taking outside influences, but I'm going to say, okay, Devon, for a little bit, you're going to be sad. I might cry a little bit. I might be emotional. I'm going to allow myself to revisit bad memories, terrible, violent things that have happened. And once I'm in that space, I then allow myself to just pick up a pen, put a paper in front of me, and write something. I write a line or two, maybe squeeze off a tear or two, and then I write another line. Squeeze off a tear or two, write another line. And then through that, I usually start with a chorus, like something that will, I don't know. At this point, I'm like, what sounds somewhat catchy that somebody won't be like, next guy, get him off the stage. Like, what could somebody listen to and it was appealing in some way to the ears? And then around that focal point that the chorus goes on, I'll write a verse. I'll write the supporting lyrics to that chorus. It doesn't always come in that order, but the first thing I have to do is I really have to tell myself, hey, for this moment, you're not dad, you're not father, you're not in charge of people up at your job. In this moment, you're just you. And you're able to accept the fact that life isn't always pretty. Not everything happens the way we want it to happen. Put it on paper. What happens when you get to that? And that allows me to kind of access. Again, I wake up every morning and I put a smile on my face, whether I feel it or not. I tell myself I'm going to be happy, whether I feel happy or not. And through the day, that's how I try to present myself. To write these songs, I have to get to that point to where I'm like, I'm not okay. and it's okay to not be okay. If I went through life thinking I'm going to be okay 100% of the time and I'm always going to be happy and I'm never going to be sad, I'm never going to have flashbacks, I'm never going to have, PTSD moments and stuff like that, I would be lying to myself. But being able to compartmentalize it to where I control when I'm going through these moments, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to write for a little bit. And so it's okay to be not okay. It kind of lets me have some control over it, as opposed to I don't want to be walking through Walmart shopping with my family and then all of a sudden break down because I see a Vietnam veteran walk by with a hat on. And I'm like, what did I do? I'm such a piece of crap. How could I ever account for what this guy's been through? Look, I don't want to do that. I need to try to control when my moments of vulnerability are. And I just do it with a pen.
The songwriting process that you're describing, it leans heavy on emotion. It sounds like, I mean, you're not just sitting down, you're coming up with rhymes. You're not coming up with a perfect song, lyrical structure. These are stories from the heart that are tugging at the heartstrings. And the way that, if you're going through this process and you find yourself crying over this, imagine the impact you have on the listener if you're able to take that emotion and translate that into your lyrics, into your music. Does that happen? Do you have people responding to you in a way that is kind of like, wow, I guess the message did come through?
So I never think of myself as writing songs. I just have stories. And they're not always stories about me. They're stories about me and people I've known. I've said it. I don't know if I've said it yet, but I'm not a hero, but I've known a few. I've known a few heroes. Some of them are with us, some of them aren't. Um, if I'm able to convey their stories or my own to other people to where they see some of the things that veterans have gone through or our active duty guys are going through, then yeah, then I've done my job. I feel accomplished in it. Um, the general reaction when I play music is people get a little bit emotional. I'll go to a local open mic, play a song, and then the reaction is somebody will come up and give, like, can I give you a hug? I'm like, yeah, man, no problem. A lot of people are always worried, like, are you okay? Are you about to are you on the edge right? Are you on the bridge right now? I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm writing about it, but some of my songs I write for the people that aren't able to write it themselves because they're not here. Some of the songs are for family members that want to know why. Why did certain people do certain things and they're not here? Um, I think that a long time ago, not a long time ago, a couple years ago, I was very uncomfortable with the song I was going to play earlier called Man I Used to Be. It says, yeah, it says a couple things, but in it, the point comes across that I'm here because of other people. Other people have laid the foundation, whether through their service, through their sacrifice, that I'm able to continue being me and move forward. And people would come up and they're very emotional saying like that song reached to me, it got to me. The first National Veterans Creative Arts Competition, we have to go through a stage show, and through that stage show I have to perform my song a few times in front of the other stage members. And some of them came to me in tears saying like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how to respond to that. I was very uncomfortable because I was worried I was triggering people, like I'm causing people to have these emotions and these reactions. And then somebody came to me, I think it was Karen Dunn. I think it was her. Somebody came to me and said, like, hey, have you ever watched a movie that you love? It's great, but by the end of it, you cry. it tears you up. You actually get emotionally invested and you cry. Not because you hate it, not because it's bad, but because it tugs at something inside of you and pulls it out of you. Having someone tell me that let me understand more that, okay, if I write a song and somebody becomes emotional, somebody does cry because of it, it's not because they're super depressed or super sad. It's because I reached out to them in some way. And again, after my first competition win, leaving the festival, I almost quit writing because the reaction was crying, and I didn't know how to react to it. But after having someone explain that to me, I realized, okay, it's good. It's okay for someone to have that emotional. And if I look at it, like talking about like what kind of music do I listen to now? I listen to music acoustic. I'll Google on YouTube, right? Like acoustic music and just hear whatever songs are played on acoustic. Some of them are popular songs on the radio. Others are just random songs. I like hearing the emotion in it, the value in what somebody's singing. And if it makes me feel something, that's what matters. And so if something I'm playing makes somebody else feel something, then I don't know, maybe it's a good thing.
A lot to absorb there, my friend. That's
Sorry.
wonderful. No, not to be sorry. This is why you're
I
here.
apologize a lot
We,
too. Sorry.
well, you don't need to. Um, it's speaking from the heart, and music is supposed to be emotional. It's supposed to tug at your heartstrings, and it's supposed to make you laugh and cry, and you apparently do that well. Now, for yourself, let me ask this question, and that would be, now that you are songwriting, you've written a few songs because you've obviously posted them online, and you're getting responses. It must be helping you process your own emotions and experiences in ways that maybe some other things that you tried couldn't. Would that be correct?
What do you mean? Elaborate a little bit. Help me out.
So, you go to songwriting, you're actually sitting down and you're writing, you're coming up with these ideas for lyrics or story or something. And there's some real comfort in that compared to maybe something else that you've tried where it's like, no, this isn't, playing sports, for instance, or, doing another hobby. It doesn't quite affect my emotional, presence the same way that writing lyrics or sitting down with my guitar does.
So, I participate in the VA. The VA has a lot of veterans have sour relationships with the VA, and I acknowledge that the VA is not always what we want it to be. For me, I try to use the VA in every capacity I can. One of those is therapy. I see a therapist, or I don't always see them, but I talk on the phone with a therapist once every 2 months, once every 3 months, especially with the job, like it's phone communication. But I find that on in my therapy appointment sit down and when I'm over the phone, I just kind of talk. I go word vomit, blah 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 blah. This is what's happening. This is what's going on in my life. I don't have as much feedback as opposed to just updating somebody. And I think therapy is excellent because a therapist, I don't know him, I don't know her. I can just say whatever I want. I could say, like, oh, my marriage is great. My marriage is terrible. Oh, I like this. I don't like this. And they're just going to go, okay, this is what I feel or think about it. Um, so therapy is a very good thing to have, but I find I usually just use therapy as a somebody I'm updating in life. This is what's going on. And if there's something really bad going on, they will say, "Hey, maybe you should look at this at a different point of view." Writing music, on the other hand, using music as therapy, or I've been blessed enough. Matt, you're familiar with the lady. I'm going to name drop her. Danielle Kelseth. She's a music therapist down on J-Bear. She's an amazing woman and an amazing therapist. Through writing, speaking with her to get me started, and then using writing on my own, I can do more. I can do so much more of getting my own thoughts out on the paper because I can share with you guys whatever I want, but I don't share everything. For every song I come out with, I've got two more songs that nobody's ever going to hear. It's something that I write and I'll probably crumple up a piece of paper and toss it away. But in that moment, that's what I needed to do. I needed to have that moment to myself. Maybe I'm angry and I'm like, this job sucks and I'm not happy, whatever it is. Like, but I can do that to myself to where I don't bring it home to my wife. I don't bring it home to my daughter. I don't bring it into work. Writing for me as therapy really it's just another outlet that you don't have to you can choose to share it with people or it can just be for yourself. Nobody's there, like you're not on record every moment of every day. We don't have cameras everywhere just yet, so we are able to kind of do your own self-help. And for me, hearing the G string, hearing the A string, hearing something play, it's a sense of comfort that I know this is for me. This isn't for anybody else. This is therapy for myself. And I just have a pen in my hands.
Hello, my name is Devon Stewart. I was in St. Louis earlier this year for the Creative Arts Festival. I found out one of my friends took his own life. I went up into the hotel room and wrote this song. I'm standing in a hotel bathroom, looking in the mirror, knuckles holding on to the sink, trying not to cry cause another brother died. Now I'm dying inside, but this ain't about me. Let me tell you about a good man, the best that I can. He would give you the shirt on his back, but we were in a truck hoping not to blow up. Damn, but that boy, he could make us all laugh. We were just young then, waiting on the weekend, growing up and getting ready to go. We made it back alive. Now I'm asking myself why you couldn't let somebody know. Know why'd you go and do that? Couldn't you have given me a call? One day you're putting up pictures of your kids, and a couple days later you're gone, asking why'd you do this. Gotta make it through this, cause I've been there and I'm so scared, and I know what it's like to be alone. Should've picked up the phone. My friend, I know that you're gone, but you're right here with me, helping writing a song that you'll never hear, cause you're not around. 21 guns and you're down in the ground. You're a folded flag at your mama's house. She ain't stopped crying since she found out. Now I'm feeling sad because I'm kinda mad, just thinking about the life you could've had back when we were just young men, with a gun in our hands, trying our best to survive. We made it back alive. Now I'm trying not to cry cause I'm tired of watching so many buddies die. Now why'd you go and do that? Couldn't you have given me a call? One day you're putting up pictures of your kids, and a couple days later you're gone, asking why'd you do this. Gotta make it through this, cause I've been there and I'm so scared, and I know what it's like to be alone. You should have picked up the phone.
Music has that healing touch for sure. I mean, I've seen that myself, teaching other veterans how to play guitar and leading them through some songwriting workshops as well. Thank you for validating that. And I know your work doesn't stop with just what you're talking about here about yourself. You're involved. You sent me a video that featured the Nave and Community Cafe. These are projects that you're involved with. Can you share a little bit about that? Maybe talk, what your work is like, and some of the programs that they offer.
As part of they put on concerts there in Anchorage at some of the music halls. anything from magicians to music to plays. But they have decided to sponsor an event once a month called the Community Cafe. One of the tribal consortiums up here, one of the native organizations, have purchased a building called the Nave. And at the Nave, once a month on the first Wednesday, they have something called the Community Cafe. Now, the Community Cafe is literally an open mic setting for disabled veterans, veterans of all types, active duty service members, and it's a spot where we can go and share music. You can, if you had a painting that you painted, you could get up on stage and be like, "Hey guys, I painted this thing, and this is what I thought about it." My job as a host has been I get up on there, I play a song or two, and then I encourage other people to get up on stage. Hey, what have you been working on? The J Bear Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson, their TBI clinic, in working with the music therapy and the art therapy program. They have their patients come in as well, and they have their staff come in as well. And we have people of all music levels. It's some people that have literally they picked up a guitar a month ago and they know one chord, or it's somebody that's been playing for a long time and he's a veteran that's been out for 5 years and he wants to get up on stage and play a song that he wrote or she wrote. And they come up and they share what they have to offer with the community. And what we've learned is over the past year, we keep getting more and more people keep getting involved. We have musicians that have had CDs published. We've got musicians that just learned how to play. We have people that are working through severe traumatic brain injuries that don't know how to play piano or guitar. But then month after month after month, you see them progressing a little bit each time and they're just getting more and more confident. I've said it so many times. Sometimes veterans just need somebody to clap. They need somebody to say, "Hey, good job. That sounds great." And that'll hold them over. Some of these people come in and you don't know where they're at. They might have been on the bridge the night before, but now they're up on stage and they have a room full of strangers telling them, "Good job. We appreciate you. What you just did matters." That can change a life. That can save a life. So my part is minor. I'm only the opener. I'm only there to say, "Hey guys, come up here and share what you have." I'm nothing. The program in itself is everything.
And what's just amazing about this story that you're sharing right now is that you yourself, you were pretty much to yourself and then bottling things up, and then you started to reach out to others and you found that it worked for you. And now you're taking these people who come to the Nave and go possibly going through the similar process that you went through and finally starting to open up, and it sounds like it's really taking off.
I mean, it's they've done a documentary on it, a little micro documentary at least. Um, we've seen it grow from only a few people to even more people. And then a guy named Sergio Adam, he's one of the guys here in the Valley. I've seen him play at local open mics. Talking to him, oh, he's an Air Force veteran. He's a veteran. Wait a minute. And now I'm up on the slope and I work often, like now for the next couple months. I'm not able to host, but he's able to fill that void with his music. And he's now able to help push that out, not only in the Nave and the community cafe, but when he goes out and does his local events, he's able to reach out to other veteran groups and say, "Hey, guys, come join this." So with any luck, fingers crossed, it's going to continue getting bigger. I would love it if we ran out of space. Um, I keep saying, just like Matt coming in and placing in the veterans competition, I think that the next big number, the next big song in America is somewhere in Alaska in a cabin out here in the valley, and they just don't know what they have. They don't understand that what they're bringing to the table is what other people need to hear. And I'm not the guy, I'm just the guy that knows the guys. And maybe by me coming out and saying a couple things, maybe somebody will hear it and they'll come out. And then people will hear them. And then, you know what? Maybe next year, I'm not the number one first place in Alaska because this person, this woman, this man, they just came out with something so amazing. I have nothing to do. Yeah, I lost. I lost the competition, but look at what this person brought to the table.
I really, as looking at your video of encouraging people to submit their artistry to the competition itself, I know you're passionate about that, and to inspire those not only through your own work, but also just to encourage them and support them. If you need me to help you, understand this process a little bit more, let me encourage you. So cool. So very cool of you to do that, Devon, for sure.
Hey buddy, how you been? It's been a while. I can't lose another friend, so I'm just checking in. Been a long, long time. Sorry I haven't called, buddy, I've been falling. That's why I'm calling. Man, I've been alright. The kids are okay, but not the wife. She's staying at a friend's house tonight, digging through the rubble in my mind, and I'm in trouble. I can't do this on my own. Buddy, thanks for calling, 'cause I'm falling, broken. I can't break these chains that weigh me down. Now I'm drowning in an ocean 20,000 feet below the waves, and I can't make this go away. But buddy, thanks for calling. Now I don't sleep, take my pills like they say I should. Stack of letters is only getting bigger. Man, once we stood together, I remember we were soldiers. Now I'm afraid that I can't stay sober. You were there through it all. Man, damn, I'm glad I called. We went to hell and back, and man, I'm always there. You and John were close. I'm sorry he's not here 60 hours a week, but with this economy means I don't have much. But I'll always pick up because I'm falling, broken. I can't break these chains that weigh me down. Now I'm drowning in an ocean 20,000 feet below the waves, and I can't make this go away because I'm falling, broken. I can't break these chains that weigh me down. Now I'm drowning in an ocean 20,000 feet below the waves, and I can't make this go away. But buddy, thanks for calling.
Let me bring on Matt here. I don't know if there are any questions from the audience, but this guy who is my co-host on the round table where heroes talk typically has some songwriter questions. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to him.
Devon, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your story with us. I do have a couple of questions. You mentioned the Nave and your interaction with the community and how you see people growing. Have you thought about, or are you doing any collaborations with some of the artists that you have met through your community interactions?
No, not yet. I guess I don't really sell myself very well. Like I don't really think much of anything yet, but I have been able to grab some local veteran musicians and pull them in. Jesse James, Sergio Adams, Schaefer Muller, some of these guys that have a little bit of a following themselves. and then able to just kind of elevate them through coming to the community cafe. But I don't have anything. No, no, no. I have. You saw me when I was there at the event that you and me met at. It's hard for me. Like, it's not that I don't play well with others. It's that I don't know how to play. I mean, I only know my strum pattern, and I kind of only know my chords, and so I don't know. I don't know. Not yet. I'll tell you what, I've got a couple songs. There's a guy named Burke up here that I would love to have some cello put into a song or two. But I don't know. If anybody wants to, please, if you hear me right now and you want to work on something, I would love to participate. I would love to like make a song with somebody else. I don't know. I always think everybody else is so much better than me, and their talent is usually hands above where I'm at. That I'm just happy to be a part of anything that's going on. The fact that people like listening, I'm amazed that they even want to hear me.
Well, Devin, I got to say that, through your community interactions and through this interview here, you've spoken with us about getting out there and doing open mics. For those who are listening, in the Alaska or in the Alaskan state, if you're down in Anchorage or you're up in Wasilla, is there a specific place that you like to perform your open mics?
Oh goodness gracious. Yeah, I guess I'll give some shout outs. So my local, like, I don't drink when I go out, at least ever. But Schwabenhof, it's a local little German restaurant slash bar. They're pretty cool. I like going out there. And they do an open mic on Wednesdays. I'm working so much now that I haven't got a chance to go out. And then there's a spot north of Wasilla called the Silver Fox. I wish I had the guy's name right now. He's a the Silver Fox is another spot that they're doing open mic, and I got a chance to go drop by and say hello, but and they begged me to grab a guitar and get on stage, but I just got off of like a 14-hour day, so I couldn't do it that night. But yeah, Silver Fox, Schwabenhof, those are both good places to go see live music. Um, and then of course once a month at the Nave there on Spenard in Anchorage.
Okay, I got another one for you. Now,
Go.
earlier in this interview, you had mentioned, "Oh, I sound better at a campfire, or I sound better next to a bonfire." And
That's right.
I know you, and I know there's a story that I would love to pull out of you for this episode. You were at a campfire slash bonfire, and you met someone famous, and it was this big surprise. Could you tell everybody a little bit about that interaction and how you felt?
Okay, well, I don't want to like name drop people, but yeah, I've through music I've had a blessing. I've got to meet a couple famous people. Um, yeah, no, last year before last, I got an invite from Battle Dogs. Battle Dogs, BATTLE DAWGS. If you guys aren't familiar with them, look them up. They do great things in Alaska. They're a great organization. Anyway, they invited me to come out and ride snowmobiles for a weekend. Monster Energy Drinks was sponsoring it, and it was this whole thing. And they called me like, "Hey, will you come?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Just bring your guitar." I was like, "Okay, cool, sounds great." And so we went out and rode snowmobiles all day, and then I got back, and they had a campfire. They're like, "Bring your guitar out," and I brought my guitar out, started playing some music, and then someone's like, "Hey, can I play your guitar? I'm a veteran." I'm like, "Yeah, man, of course." And I gave my guitar off, and I was mic'd up. Somebody had a mic on me, a little like YouTube mic or whatever it is. And I went over and poured myself a drink in the back of this truck, and the guy starts tuning my guitar, starts messing with it. And I'm like, on the mic, I'm like, why the hell every time you give somebody a guitar, they start messing with it? And then I call him out. I'm like, "Hey, it was out of tune just the way I liked it." He's like, "You're not going to like it now." And he starts playing a song. And he starts playing a song, and I noticed it off the radio. I was like, bless his heart. Like this guy's telling everybody he's wrote a song. It's not his song. He's on the radio, and but damn, it sounds good. He's obviously practiced it a bunch of times. So I got my somebody comes over and whispers in my ear, "Hey, that's Craig Morgan, the country singer. That's him. That's his song. He's playing the song that's why you've heard it before." And yeah, it was Craig Morgan. So he's won a couple Grammys. Um, and so he gets done, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" And yeah, I'll tell you what, I got 5 minutes of one-on-one time with Craig Morgan. He told me, he's like, "Dude, can you write a happy song? We can work together." I was like, "I don't know, Craig. I'll be honest. Like that might be a hard write for me." But no, got a chance to meet him, and that was all around the campfire. And of course, everybody knew but me. So there's video of me over here talking crap to this amazing musician under my breath, and then me over behind him as some lady whispers in my ear. And then I honestly, I got emotional. I was just, turns out the entire event, they had planned it out in advance. The whole trip was from, he had saw one of my songs on the internet and thought it was something special. So he had came out for that very reason. And yeah, no, I got a chance. I met him. I met a couple other people. I met Roseanne Cash, Johnny Cash's eldest daughter. I think I sent a YouTube link to the messages right now. That's the song. Well, I went to a writing workshop with her to write that song, but then she told me she couldn't help me write the song. She said, like, just you got to do it, Devin. I can't give you any advice on it, but that song actually won the National Veterans Creative Arts Competition, so good one on that. And then I met somebody else too. I've met a couple people. Met a couple people.
I mean, I guess you could say that um, your music, and I know as musicians we tend to say, well, we don't really have that big of an impact like others say. I'm just a man, I'm just just a normal guy, but your music has an impact, so much so that people who are famous, people who are mainstream music, they hear it and they believe that you got something special, man. Devin, I can't say thank you enough for coming on here and allowing everyone to get to hear your story. I do have another question for you, and it's because it's something that I've noticed. When writing your music and playing your music, you say practice, practice, practice. Does your music, while you play it, ever make you stop because you're emotional? Does your music impact you when you play?
Not when I don't know. Yes, occasionally I'll be out at an open mic or I'll be going somewhere and I'll play a song, and by the end of it, I'll need 3 seconds, like a couple seconds, just to be like, accept what I just did. Now, writing, I could never write in front of somebody else. Like, as far as people wanting to get together and write in the same room, that I couldn't come up with the same quality of product because when I write, I was talking with Tom earlier today, and I've talked with you before as well. It's, I'll write a lyric and I will almost break down. It will take me down to my knees, figuratively or sometimes literally, where I need a minute before I can write the next one, before I can work on the next one. Because again, my process of writing is I allow myself to relive a moment. And those are moments that as a man, like a father, a husband, a veteran. I don't live in those moments. Those aren't moments I live through every day. I have found a way through therapy, through music therapy, through life to work past it, but I allow myself to go back into that moment and relive it. And so in that moment, oh, it's rough, man. It's guttural. It's there's tears involved. I'll break down and cry. I mean, sometimes again, I'm glad there's no camera looking at me while I write a song because a lot of times it's me playing a couple things, writing something down, and then breaking down, crying for a couple seconds because I can't do anything else. But yeah, yeah, that's how I write. I couldn't write in front of people, but I can write by myself.
Well, Devin, I do have to say we do have a comment from Donald Mulder. He says, "Thank you, Devin. You are definitely above my abilities. Bravo, Zulu. Uh, thank you, man. That's the last question I have here. Tom, if you want to take her back, go for it, buddy. It's all you."
Thanks, Matt. Is there a way that people can reach out to you, to take you up on your offer to collaborate in songwriting, or maybe you can kind of point them in a direction where they can find any of the material that you shared with us tonight?
I have not really tried. I've never tried to be famous. That's not been my goal ever. I'm on Facebook. My name is Devon Stewart, DevonStewart. I'm in Alaska. The picture's a black and white picture of me holding a guitar. Reach out to me there. Um, I guess I'll just share my email. It's new Devon6915, NEW6915, or NEWDEVON6915 at gmail.com. You can just email me directly if there's a question you have. Um, yeah, I don't want to buy anything, so don't hit me up with like a new vacuum that you got coming out. But if there's anything that I could help out with, I I just want to help. I am nothing special. I'm nothing more than so many other veterans. I've just been lucky enough to get a voice to be on a podcast like this. And so reach out to Tom. Tom, I'm assuming if somebody wants to reach out to me, they can get a hold of you and get a hold of me. Um, I I just want to help. If there's anything I could do to make another veteran have a better day, then that makes me feel good about what I'm doing.
You certainly know how to, touch people with your music and your stories. I mean, that's how you roped me in for sure. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for watching Songs Sung True, A Veteran's View. We hope you've enjoyed our conversation with Devon Stewart. Next week, Matt and I will be back for a new episode of the Roundtable Where Heroes Talk. And that guest happens to be David Welch, who is a U.S. Army veteran, a district commander for the VFW where he resides in Oregon, a songwriter, and he manages a veteran and guitar nonprofit in Salem, Oregon. Frequently has helped me teach some music courses when he has time. The Roundtable Where Heroes Talk airs the same time next week. You can also hear us on Reads Across America Network, all of the popular streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple, and the Herostock Nation podcast as well, too, at herostock.org podcast. Devin, we're at the end of the program. What do you say we head on over to the green room for the after show party and reception? All right, very good. And Matt,
Man.
Yeah, man. Hey, Matt, I'm bringing you back. We'll meet you over at the green room. Want to thank everyone once again tonight for watching. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
He's a broken man alone in his room. Lost a job, a family, those who left too soon. Asking if he still knows wrong from right. Demons from that bar fight keep him up at night. No one wants to die, they just want the pain to stop. He knows he needs help, but he can't call this talk. Empty glass of whiskey going under. Somehow he recalls a number, and on the line a woman asked his name. Tells him that she's not alone, help is on its way. Help me put this pistol down today. Lie to me and tell me these dreams will start to fade. I'm just a statistic, it's 22 they say. I can't make these memories go away. Show me I'm not really on my own. Best man that I've ever known, never make it home. Crying but you're making sense, tonight I'm not alone. Thank you, man, for picking up that phone. his face, don't tell the truth. He's somewhere he can't forget, they don't show in the news. Someone asks if he's alright, he just tried to smile. What's the point in talking, it'll be over in a while. Driving down the road, he's going 60. Living life when you're dead inside, it can be so tricky. Grips the wheel and slowly closes his eyes. But suddenly he doesn't wanna die. Pulls along the edge, he pulls out his phone, crying while he dials a number. And someone tells him no, and he says, help me hit the brakes for today. Lie to me and tell me these dreams will start to fade. I'm just a statistic, it's 22 they say, 'cause I can't make these memories go away. Show me I'm not really on my own. Best man that I've ever known, never make it home. Crying but you're making sense, tonight I'm not alone. Thank you man for picking up that phone. The woman on the other line is struggling once again, desperate just to save the lives of far too many men. There's been times it didn't go so well. Shots rang out and it put her through hell. It's hard to be the hero when heroes call you crying. All the wars and all those times they see their friends dying, sitting at the desk just waiting on the next phone to ring, but she picks up and always gives her best. When they say, help me put this pistol down today. Lie to me and tell me these dreams will start to fade. I'm just a statistic, it's 22 they say. I can't make these memories go away. Show me I'm not really on my own. Best friend that I've ever known, never make it home. Crying but you're making sense, tonight I'm not alone. Thank you man for picking up that phone. Thank you man for picking up that phone. Work in progress.